So today is cruise day and I'm going to be taking a cheap $200 cruise. Now this is my second cruise of 2026. Happy New Year, by the way, to everybody out there. I just arrived in Fort Lauderdale Airport. I caught a $50 flight over here. However, I do have to get over to Miami for my cruise, which is about 45 minutes away. I just need to go pick up my bag from baggage claim and then I'll look at my options on how I'm gonna get to Miami. Hello, good sir. Now, if you aren't getting picked up or if you don't have your own car or a rental car, you got typically three options to get over to that area. You could hire a transfer directly from the cruise line, which can vary in price anywhere between $25 a person up to $150 a person, depending if you want a public shared shuttle or if you want a private shuttle. You also have the option of Brightline, which the station is about 5 minutes away from this airport. They do offer shuttles, but they come in intervals of about 30 minutes in between each shuttle. Once you arrive to the station, you can take the train. It's going to run you anywhere between $20 up to about $40, depending if you want the standard seat or premium, and that'll land you about a mile and a half away from Port Miami. And then of course you have your Ubers and taxi, which I think I'm gonna check out that route today, and well, hopefully it's not too much, but we'll see. Okay, so Uber prices were not horrible, around what I expected, roughly $65 to get from Fort Lauderdale Airport over to Port Miami. Now keep in mind, this is probably the least cost-effective method of getting over to Port Miami. However, it is the most efficient. Right, we made it. Let's do this. I've been here before, I know. Okay. Yeah, I come here all the time.
You have a blessed day.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So unfortunately, the weather is not the greatest right now. However, I've made it to Terminal AA, where the MSC Seaside, the ship I'll be sailing on, is here, and we are ready to board. Let's go get a closer look. Behold, on this beautiful rainy day, ladies and gentlemen, the beautiful MSC Seaside cruise ship. It initially launched to the general public back in 2017. It was the first ever Seaside class cruise ship for MSC Cruises. Cost $750 million to build. Is currently, surprisingly, the 45th largest cruise ship in the entire world, which is crazy because at full capacity, this cruise ship does hold 4,000 passengers at full capacity, 1,500 crew. It has 19 decks, 3 pools, 20 bars, 11 restaurants, a water slide casino, pretty much everything under the sun, which I will show you once we get on board. Now, this is not my first time on this particular style of cruise ship. I've been on its younger and newer sisters, the MSC Seascape as well as the MSC Seashore, both last year in 2025 in November, so I'm pretty familiar with the ship. However, once we get on board, I'll show you all the pretty stuff and we'll go over the pricing and, well, we'll have a good time. Let's head on into the terminal. So you do have two sides. You got the MSC Yacht Club here. Unfortunately, I won't be partaking this time around. Definitely an amazing and highly recommended experience. And you have the regular check-in inside. Well, that was a breeze. I just made it through security and it was extremely efficient. Now, do keep in mind, this very beautiful terminal is state-of-the-art and it's only about a year old. I was actually inside it before it was open to the general public. And really, everything here is state-of-the-art, technologically advanced, and, well, it is fitted to give you a swift access to the cruise ship. No, I haven't seen a big crowd or a lot of traffic since I've been here, and it's usually like this because it's so smooth operating and technologically advanced. However, it's going to be a big question mark. Is this ship going to be packed or is it going to be empty because we're still in the start of the year in January? Here we go, everybody's favorite part. The great walk on the gangway to finally board the ship. And ladies and gentlemen, we are officially now on board the MSC Seaside. Here we are, here we are. Hello, hello. How you doing? Hi. Hello, hello. Ooh, shiny, shiny, shiny. First things first, we have to be responsible adults and check into our muster station. I'm over by I at the moment. I need to find G. I'm looking for a G.
G. On deck downrange here, sir.
Oh.
G like gelato.
Gelato. Ah, I love
Yes.
it. I love it. I love it. Thank you, sir.
So,
I'm looking everywhere for G.
G? Yeah, you have your QR code.
Yeah, actually I do. Okay, so since we just got on board, the rooms are not currently ready yet, so I think we are going to take a look around. Let's start all the way up from the pool deck, and then we'll work our way down from there. Let's go up. Interesting. Even for a ship that was built in 2017, they already have these destination elevators. All right, here we are. The tallest deck. Well, we got one more up. We're on 18, we need to get to 19. I've seen this area before. Now keep in mind, I've been on the newer Seaside class ships, the Seascape and the Seashore. Now, normally there's just a little bit more fixins and bells and whistles, but it is essentially the same. And usually over here, there is an arcade area. For the most part, it looks the same as its sisters so far. You have the slide here, and then back over in the front area is the suites area known as the MSC Yacht Club. It encompasses the entire front area. How's it going, man? Let's work our way over to the main pool area. Now, normally up here, or at least on the newer seaside cruise ships, you got the Robotron. It's a cool robotic arm thing. Been on there a million times. A lot of fun. And this bar area seems to be a little bit more expanded on this ship. It's kind of like tucked in on the newer ships, but you still got the bar down here. And you have the pool, which is pretty much the same layout overall. Now, this over here is a little bit more seasoned, of course, but the layout is overall the same, except for the hot tubs. I don't think they had that back there. I think on the newer ships, they move them up here to the front. But overall, still a nicely utilized area, very good use of real estate. Now, do keep in mind, on board a cruise ship, every single nook and cranny, every square inch is real estate. Let's take a closer gander at the pool. Not a bad area, guys, as you can see. Tables, pretty much the same setup as the other ships, except I think they did split all of this on the newer ships. It's like one whole piece. Normally, you can go down this other area and get to the elevators a little quicker. But overall, pretty much the same. Okay, it's pretty much the same. They still have the bridge area over here, and down there is the adults only area. We're gonna go down there in a second and see what's different compared to the other seaside class cruise ships. By the way, I apologize, but I'm also not sorry for being such a nerd about all these things. It's just so interesting to me. Seeing the evolution of cruise ships, especially when it's within the same class, it's pretty cool. And down we go. Welcome to South Beach. A lot more spacious than on the newer ships. Interesting. Now, this is the adults only area. Normally over here they do have kind of like a walkway on the newer ships, and it's like a statue that's usually in the center. But here it's just a straight up pool. And lots of seating areas. Billiards, aka the pool room. Now, we are just going to quickly brush through all of this, guys. Do keep in mind, I'm going to do a full review with better photos and videos and all that other good stuff, and an honest review on this beautiful ship, the MSC Seaside, on my main channel, The Ship Life. Now, I don't want to get in trouble for copyright, so I'm going to give you guys just a brief look at what's going on in here. The main atrium area, we were here earlier before. As you can see, it's very beautiful, very nice, very elegant. And it's a good place for a party. Oh, I know this is what a lot of you want to see. Welcome to the casino. And as you can see, at first glance, it looks very large and in charge. And if you play your cards right, you should be able to make some monies in here. Not me, of course, because you guys know I don't gamble on cruise ship casinos. The house always wins. But hopefully some of you out here, whenever you board this ship, you'll get lucky. Now, of course, we have to check out the theater. Very nice, same as the other ships. We will, of course, check out some of the shows this evening, too. Now, this is not an argument. MSC has some of the best gyms at sea, hands down. On top of that, too, I gotta give credit to all these fine folk that are in here, literally working out the first day of the cruise before we even sail away. Personally, I could never. This here is a very cool looking area. I do love the red. Red's my favorite color. And over here, we also have the sports bar. We'll pop in here for a second. Plenty of places to hang out on board this ship. Now, this is different. So, the marketplace is the buffet area on board MSC cruise ships. Now, on the other ships of this style, usually this area is on the top near the pool. But right now, we are on deck 8. Very different. Now, I'm only going to stop in here for a second. It is peak hours at the moment. Oh, man. Maybe I'll stick around for a little while because MSC has hands down the best pizza you will ever try. There is no argument. But no. We got to just take our look around. So from what I can see, it's basically the same layout as the other seaside cruise ships. It's just lower. So I think we're going to come back to this area at another point in time because as you can see, we are packed like sardines in here. On top of that, we just got the official announcement. The rooms are ready. So let's go see what we're working with for this cruise in terms of my cabin. I took the stairs all the way up. I should not be this tired. It was only like 6 flights of stairs. But either way, I need to get in the gym while I'm here. We need to find my room on deck 13. What do you know? I didn't have to walk at all. Now, there's something crazy about this situation here, guys, but this is my room, I guess. So let's head inside and see what we're working with. Side note, my bag made it here, and it made it here before moi. Pretty cool. Okay, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my 172 square foot deluxe balcony cabin. So I am, of course, going to give you a small, brisk tour of my deluxe balcony stateroom. But you want to know what's crazy about this entire situation right here? I didn't even pay for it. I paid $215, the bare bones price, for a standard interior. And the next thing I know, I don't know if it was an act of God, a glitch in the system, or MSC decided to give me a present because I'm Mr. Shiplife, I somehow ended up with a balcony. Anyway, I'm not gonna complain. I'm humbly grateful. Thank you, God, AWA, the Tree of Might, whoever. Now, let's go ahead and get on with this little quick tour. Okay, let's see if we can get this all done in one take. So as you can see, I am in cabin number 13197, and I am conveniently located right by the staircase here on deck 13 and the elevator, which is a pretty nice location depending on what your preference is. Let's go in, shall we? So like I said, this is a 172 square foot deluxe balcony cabin. Now, as you can see at first glance, it's not bad, not bad. It's functional, has some interesting colors in here, but we will start from the bathroom area and work our way in. As you see, you have the Do Not Disturb button, the Make Up the Room button. It lights and illuminates on the outside here. We will check out the porcelain throne, the bathroom. As you can see, it's pretty spacious overall. If you are a little fluffy, you might have a little bit of a pinch getting in and out of here, but overall, not bad, not bad. Shelving space, your soap, all of your towels are right here, and you have your shower, which thankfully it is not curtains. Keep in mind, this ship is 10 years old, which is absolutely crazy to say. Well, just under 10 years old. 9, but still, not bad, not bad. Everything is pretty up to standard, up to date. You have your temperature gauge. You want it hot, you put it up here. You put it down here if you want it cool. Your light over here, and you have your king-size bed. MSC beds are not bad. I would say they're kind of in between firm and more of a soft. It's not bad. Honestly, I have a really good sleep here. I sleep like a baby. And here you do have your safe, all of your cubbies, and your closet space, your storage. I do have my bag in here as well, just to get an idea, guys, for reference. You can see there's plenty of spacing here, plenty of hangers, and they don't have the little cheap ones here. You can take them off, which is really nice. Here you have a night light, and you also have one on the opposite side. And of course, some cubbies down on the bottom. Over here, as you can see, you have your couch, and it's okay. You can see it's kind of, all over the place, but it does transform into a bed. This room does house 4 people very comfortably. As we swivel over here, you have the TV that is on a swivel, so you can turn it in the event you want to watch TV while you were laying in your bed. Not bad, not bad at all. You have your phone, you have your USB outlets here, your standard American outlets here, no USB-C. Again, this chip is about 10 years old. And you have your mirror over here. You have your mirror over there as well. On some other MSC ships, like the newer ones too, they do put the mirror right here in the bed, which I think is very interestingly placed, but I'm not here to judge. I just think it's pretty cool. But also here, it looks like this is a mini bar, but let's check. I have not looked inside of it yet, and it is. Now, personally, I'm not going to touch any of this stuff because I'm not trying to leave out of here while paying an arm and a leg, but you know what's in there. You have a seating area over here. You have your ice bucket over here. You can also order room service, and you can scan with the menu right over here, and all of your pools and laundries and everything else, all of your daily programs, all this stuff is available for you as well. You can also look at it on the MSC app. Now let's go ahead and check out the balcony. The balcony is 54 square feet, so it's not super small, but it's not like a mega-sized balcony by any means. However, it's functional, and it will obviously do the job. You got your 2 standard chairs here that unfortunately don't recline, but they still do what they need to do. You have your footrest over here, and of course, whenever we sail away, you are going to have some very gorgeous views. And once again, I paid the bare bones price. I am balling on a budget for this cruise. $215, couldn't pass it. This was initially for an interior. I believe got like $500 or something like that, or maybe $100 more for the balcony, but either way, it seemed to work out. Now, in terms of the drink package, I didn't purchase it for this cruise, but I believe it was around $100 a day, totaling to about $300. This is a 3-day cruise. And then also the Wi-Fi that I did pay for, it came out to roughly, if it was like a $30 a day, $33 a day, which totaled to $100 for the browsing and streaming, aka the premium Wi-Fi for the entire cruise. However, that does decrease a little bit as far as the daily rate when you add on devices, so it can go to around, I believe I saw it was like up to $25 or even $21 for 4 devices, but keep in mind that's $21 per device. So they give you a little discount as you go along, but obviously you're still paying more. Anywho, voila! I am now going to unpack all of my things and change and get ready for the Sailaway party. Okay, so the time is upon us. We need to head over to the Sailaway party, except it's going to be indoors. Apparently they're worried about the inclement weather outside, so we're going to have it in the atrium inside. Should be interesting. Alright guys, it's approximately 6:30-ish, so we're getting into the nightly festivities. I've already changed. It's going to be tropical night for the theme and the party and everything, so we'll hang out and see what's going on board the ship, and then we'll lead into the nightlife. Alright guys, so that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now do keep in mind, this is just a little snippet, a sneak peek if you will, of my time on board the MSC Seaside. I will have a thorough and honest review on my main channel, The Ship Life, so make sure you go subscribe and follow if you haven't already. And of course, as usual, I appreciate you guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see all of you later. Take it easy.